everyone, welcome to my next crochet book review. This is a fairly new acquisition as I've been interested in trying to learn some Japanese crochet recently. The first thing I will say is Japanese crochet is just a different way of putting stitches together. There are some unique kind of stitch designs, but it's still just normal basic crochet stitches. So this one says 156 different stitch patterns. So when you open up, it's very colourful. It's well printed, decent sized text without being too big or too small. Lots of decent pictures in it. So the first thing I will say is this is not really for a beginner, I would say. It's a little bit complicated. So before we go through the actual book, I'm going to flick to the back first and show you the basic stitches. So there is a lot of information here about basic stitches. Again, it doesn't really say about UK or US crochet terms, but it is US crochet terms. If you look at the description on how to do a half double crochet, that is a US half double crochet. So as well as all the usual chain, slip, single, half double, double, etc., there are lots of other things. It goes into great detail of how to go in doing crochet into the back of a loop, crochet into the same stitch. That's all chain into the same stitch apart from this one, into chain space. And the actual symbols are the same as they would be in any crochet diagram, so you don't have to relearn symbols, so that's a good thing. And there are lots and lots: puff stitches, half double crochet, popcorn, picots, one by one LCDC, not entirely sure what that, cross double crochet. I've seen that in quite a lot of the patterns inside, so that actually describes how to do a crossed double crochet, and lots of information: casting on a center ring, chain stitch, circular cast on, crocheting with beads, joining motifs. So the descriptions are decent, certainly for the stitches. So this is where it starts getting a little bit more complicated. So you'll see on these 2 pages there are 4 pictures, and each one says instructions on page whatever. The one thing to say is there is a little disclaimer at the front here which says the yarns used in this book are Japanese brands with limited availability outside of Japan. The yarn chart on page 88 shows thicknesses, put up and hook recommendations to aid you in substituting your favourite yarns. So the chances are that whatever yarn they've used for the pattern, you're not going to be able to find it unless you live in Japan. So you will have to do a bit of substitution in terms of weight and thickness of yarn, but it should be fairly explanatory. Where does that say? It says on page 88. Let's have a quick look at that. So yeah, there is a picture of each of the yarns, and Hamanaka yarns, it tells you the name of the yarn, it tells you how much the ball weighs, how many yards and how many meters, and what US hook size to use. So each one has got a the information there that you need to successfully substitute a yarn to make any of the designs in the book. That's this page is your diagram deciphering page. And so we'll go here. For example, let's go look at that one. Rich more instructions on page 6. So you flick over and -2A 2B that says. Richmore percent number 1. That's 2A 2B, that's 3. So here we've got 2A 2B. Oh, here 1. Sample photo on page 4. It tells you what the stitch repeat is. Unless otherwise specified, use colour 8. After the first stitch, all subsequent double crochet stitches are through the back loop. Fold the picot to the front and work into the back of the stitch below. So that's what you get. There are no written instructions. You have to be able to read a crochet diagram in order to use this book. If you can't, you're going to have to learn before you'll be able to do it. But you'll see here, it's all a bit random. 2A 2B, number 1, number 5, number 12, 22, continuation of 23, sample photo on page 18. So we go to page 18, and then that tells you the basic kind of stitch. That's number 22. Tells you the basic thing, and then this tells you how to basically loop the loops after you've finished. So it's not straightforward. That's what I would say to you. And it's all a bit dotted about, you know, it's not in any kind of logical order. So in terms of reading it, A, you need to learn a diagram, and B, you need to be proficient and at reading the diagram and following the diagram. And you will need to bob around in the book to find the instructions for that particular pattern. So all I'm going to do now is give you a quick flick through the pages and show you what kind of designs. I mean, there are some nice designs in here, but actually when you look at it on the diagram, it's just like a puff or a cluster, whichever, and double crochet and chain. That's all it is. It's nice use of colour work. That's where it becomes striking. That one's a bit wacky. So I'm just going to flick through. Each one will tell you what the stitch repeat is, so you can make it as wide as you want. But that's all it tells you. It doesn't give you any extra written instructions. There's occasionally a little bit of writing like that, but not a deal. But you know, there's some nice beaded stitch crochet patterns. There are some nice designs in here. You know, they're unusual. Yeah, that's nice if you want to make yourself a little pineapple top. So we're just going to quickly flick through. That's pretty, isn't it? Pretty yarn. Flick through the pictures. A lot of it, for me, I mean, it's just normal crochet. It's just a different way of putting things together. And for me, it's like I think some of the designs are quite striking, but it's probably a lot to do with yarn selection and colour choices, which give it the, you know, the striking kind of look. But as you can see, there's a lot of just a random picture, and then you have to find which page the charts and symbol explanation, page 50. These photos are around 80% of the actual size. See, I mean, that's pretty, but I mean, literally it's just a tiny little square with using 3 different colours. Then we get on to Irish lace, which is obviously Irish lace, not Japanese. Lots of different designs and instructions, but chart only. Edgings. More edgings. From the pattern to a finished item. So basically what they've done with from pattern 145, from pattern 132. So sculptural floral motif from 4 different patterns there, all joined together randomly. And then some pictures of the finished garments, bags. That's pretty, isn't it? I'm not a huge fan of the colour scheme, but yeah, the design's pretty nice. Pineapples, that lovely sculptural flower nest, and then we get to the bits that you've already seen, which are the instructions and the also how to, these designs at the back are telling you how to put the designs together for the garments and the bags and such like. So that's it. So I think it's a nice book. I think there's some nice unusual stitches in it, to summarize. However, I would suggest it's not really suitable for a beginner. It's a little bit on the complicated side if you're brand new to crochet, but if you're intermediate advanced and you're happy reading crochet stitch diagrams only without the written word, then this might be a book that you could be interested in. So I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in having a look at it. I think I got mine on Amazon UK. I do nearly all my shopping on Amazon because I don't like going to the shops. And again, it's just a quick flick through all the pages just so you can see what you might be getting if you decide to buy it. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.